Good evening. Good evening. Do you remember September? That is Pulse Timber. Good evening. It's time to check your pulse with our host, Micheline Barber, for the Impulse Summit 2022, September 10th through the 12th in Columbia, South Carolina. When's the last time you checked your pulse? Let's welcome our host, Miss Micheline Barber, so that you can check your pulse for the Impulse Summit.
That's right. It's Thursday. And it's Think About It Thursday. Think about what you will be doing in September. And can you remember last September? No, forget it. We're talking about Post Timber 2022. And it's going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. That's right. South Carolina is going to be bringing the heat. Over 48 elite educators, over 60 classes, even hands-on classes. Now, every Thursday, we go live at 9 and we shut it down. We shut the system down, but we're going to need your help. So I want you to put your seatbelts on right now and get ready to enjoy this ride as to what we're going to be bringing to you again, and again, every week until September and even after that, because we got so much to say. Now, let me tell you this, tag a friend. I want you to bring somebody on that needs to be at Mpulse Summit, that needs to hear this information, that need to breathe with us again and again. Every Thursday, if you've been tuning in, we thank you. If you know somebody that you need to tap on the shoulder, that's right. We thank you for that as well. And this week is no different than any other week. We are bringing you the heat again. Y'all going to hear me say that over and over again, because Mpulse Summit is one of the biggest things that you need to be at. And if you have not heard, listen up. Now, this evening, we have some elite educators, and I say some because, again, we have 48. But this evening, we have elite educators as well as covering for Mpulse Summit. And these individuals actually pray over Mpulse Summit. They are bringing in so much education to Mpulse Summit, and this evening is no different. So I'm telling you right now, you want to tag somebody. Matter of fact, I'm tagging a couple of people as I'm speaking, because there's somebody that need to know about this. There's somebody that need to join. And we have been having some inboxing where people say, hey, I heard about Mpulse Summit. These are the things I want to know more about it. And we have the answers to all of your problems, and we have the solutions to everything. I'm your host for this evening, Miss Micheline Barber of Mpulse Summit CEO. So I'm going to let you know that we don't bring just anybody, but we bring the best. And so make sure you start telling somebody that they need to come on and join on to this live this evening. This first person I'm going to be bringing to you all is a young lady that I've been definitely watching, definitely catching her on Sundays and every other days when she's doing her motivation, or when she's telling you prophecy, or when she's just praying. And this young lady has a special heart, but she also have a special seed in the ground at Mpulse Summit. We was blessed to have her as a part of it last year. She opened up and did a phenomenal job. I mean, already just a short period of time, and Lord, lives was saved in that short period of time. And it doesn't take long for you to realize that God is always in the building at Mpulse Summit. So I want you all to welcome to the seat at Mpulse Summit none other than Pastor Shannon McCray.
Good evening. Thank you for having us on tonight.
Yes. So we're definitely going to bring a couple more people. These gentlemen, actually, I've been knowing them ever since they was born. I'm going to just say that. That's for real. Because these individuals have been born and bred into the finance industry, but they've been born and bred into the family of Mpulse Summit. And they have been here since the beginning, jumped in, started moving tables, organization. But now they said they want to be from the seats to the stage and really talking about the financial part of Mpulse Summit and how to bring in more revenue and more savings to Mpulse Summit. So please welcome, I'm going to bring both of them up. We have none other than Mr. Hassan Ross and Mr. Shenard Bird.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. So we're going to get right into it. So again, tag a couple of people. I'm so grateful to have you all here with me this evening. And it's a couple of things I'm just going to just go out. We're just going to have a comfortable conversation. And those who know me know I'm one of the realest people you're going to come across. So I like to be real. I like for everybody to discuss what is it about Mpulse Summit. Pastor Shannon, you have, of course, I met you years ago when I wrote a speech for your sister's foundation, and it was, phenomenal, because I just, written a whole nother speech like in 30 minutes, because God told me it was delayed and not denied, and make room. And it was something that we always talked about. Now, since you've been a cover, because we call you a cover of Mpulse Summit, because I called you one day, I said, please pray for me. You did immediately. What is it about this summit that you say you want to be a part of covering it, and you are a part of the seed and the foundation of Mpulse Summit? What is it about Mpulse Summit and you being there?
I will say, first of all, it's the visionary. Yeah, like that's it for me. Just understanding what it takes to be a visionary, what it takes to be a leader. I'm really, really big on covering. I'm big on prayer. And I believe that leaders need a leader. Leaders need mentors. Leaders need intercessors. So a lot of times when we try to go out and do things on our own, we forget that we need to be covered in prayer. And so first and foremost, it's an honor to be a part. It's an honor to be chosen as a covering. It is an honor to be asked to pray. And so for me, it just means a lot. We can never be too big or never be too far where we can't look back or even look over when somebody requests prayer to do that. And so the biggest part of being a part of Mpulse is just that honor to be chosen for such a task as that.
And I love it. And you're not just doing the prayer, you are just phenomenal with bringing the word. And when you pulled me to the side last year, and what you prophesied to me was amazing. And you never know how God is going to speak and who he's going to speak through and what he's going to say. And just you being there in your presence, you have already cleared the room of any negative things, any negative people, anybody who think they're going to come in and, bring any destruction, right, period. You shut it down. And that was just phenomenal. So I'm so blessed to have you all back here again this year. We have Shanad and Hassan. I don't want to say both of you all names together, but you all are double teaming with education. Hassan and Shanad, what you all will be bringing to Mpulse Summit this year? We'll start with Hassan.
And I do apologize. I'm in transit here.
Hey, that's the beauty of partnership, I guess.
That's it. Go ahead. Go pick it up. Pick it up, Hassan. I love it.
Hey, we can drop the pen. We show what the power of partnership.
Exactly.
You back,
Go ahead,
That's right.
Hassan.
That's
He's
right.
transition. Go ahead.
That's right.
Take it away, Shanad.
Well, first of all, for me, it's a double whammy because I have the opportunity to watch my big cousin do something that I think has had an impact. And, coming from the banking industry, corporate America, to watch what this summit has done and how far she's come, I just told myself that I have to have that. I have to get engaged. And, I always volunteered from the start. But what I was seeing was phenomenal people who worked hard, who was very passionate about their craft. And one of the things I know Hassan and I always talked about is it's one thing to be passionate. It's one thing to have a phenomenal skill. But if that skill doesn't lead to wealth or legacy, then you're really not maximizing what God has for you. So for me, this was about how can we, two folks who have found success in the financial industry, both on the business side, the private wealth side, how can we add to this phenomenal group of people and can really add value to not only what their passion and skill and gift is, but how we can leave a legacy and how can we build wealth and build a culture and community. And Hassan will talk about this sense of it's not about being solo. It's not about getting the bag by yourself. It's about having an understanding of, no, I don't want to be dependent on you, but it's okay to be interdependent and to create a culture in which we build with each other, from each other, and knowing that I lift my sister and brother up just because I can and because I will, and we pay it forward. So once again, I'm gonna shut up, Hassan, and let you speak a little bit because I get pumped about this kind of stuff, man. I see my people doing good stuff. I can't help but want to stand up and be engaged. So thank you, Cuz, for leading and allowing us the opportunity to participate and serve.
All right. I appreciate you. Hassan?
Much said. Just to kind of echo him, I thought it was paramount that I be involved with Mpulse just from me knowing Mitch. It goes years ago. A lot of people don't realize that my first career was in the haircut industry. But I can remember those years when I met her cousin at University of South Carolina in 1992, coming to North Carolina A&T with my clippers on my back and my backpack, and that's how I paid my way. I cut hair to go everywhere. And then from what you call, everybody calls shade tree or bootleg, from doing that to actually going into a shop to doing platform work. But a lot of that stuff I saw Mitch doing way before I even began to do it. She was always pouring into others. She was always educating. She was always she always had an open heart. So she could not do anything in my backyard and I not lend a hand to help. I don't care whether it's sweeping the floors. I'm willing to do that. I had no intention to get on the stage, but hey, that's partnership. My brother Shenard, sometimes you need people in your camp that's going to pull you into the light. Because I'm the type of person, I don't mind being in the background. I'm just fine being there. But sometimes people need to pull you and pull that out of you. And that's what we're talking about, interdependence, and how a lot of times we've been fed this lie and we've been hustling all wrong. We've been hustling, trying to do everything ourselves, because from birth, we've been trying to leave the mother's womb and to gain more independence. But we don't realize that it's our connection with our people, our community, to actually give us strength. Even if you go back to God's word, he said, first when he created man, he created woman. So we were intended to work together. So it's strength in numbers. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited about talking about the career that my second career in finance, because it always was my passion to help build generational wealth in my community, because there was just nobody talking about it. There was nobody I can sit down and have that conversation with. And then those people who had that conversation, there was a lot of miseducation around the topic. I'm not saying I'm an expert. Every day I wake up and try to prove myself wrong so I can be better and bigger and better for my clients. But I'm excited, and like I say, I'm gonna shut up too.
No, you know what, Hassan, is just it's so funny how Hassan got on me right after the summit the first year. He's like, "Now, Micheline, all you had to do was call me. All you had to do was ask me." And I'm like, "Hassan, I'm not good at that." He's like, I'd do anything, especially when it comes to building people up and for support. And I think that's why you are constantly being blessed, because of your support. And that goes also to Shannon, Pastor Shannon. You have always supported your sister, which is in the beauty industry. You've always supported so many people, including myself, that's in the beauty industry, but past that. And when it comes to the word breathe, and I kind of went to you and I told you so profoundly, it is called breathe this year, Micheline, and how you said that to me. What do you think, or what is your definition, or what is God telling you when it says breathe? Because I'm always asking this question, because I always keep my notes, and I keep my notes because I want to see where God is showing things at. He's showing it from the left or right. And some things are just going in alignment. And some things I'm like, oh, that does make sense. What does that mean to you when you say, or a person say breathe to you?
It simply means live. Like, keep it short and sweet, live. I was thinking about it today, preparing to come live. And I know this is a casual conversation as you're preparing for the summit, but I literally just hear live. You cannot live without breath.
Right.
There has to be an inhale and an exhale. And so when I hear, we talk about the beauty industry, we talk about entrepreneurship and business owners, we can be so fixated on the grind that we forget to live. We forget to breathe. And so my prayer, if anything, I'm all about the bag. I'm a serial entrepreneur myself.
Yes.
I'm a pastor, I'm a community leader. But at the beginning and the end of every day, don't forget to breathe, like to live. We have made the business and the industry, multiple industries, we've made it so much about the industry that we forget about life. We forget about ministry. We forget about family. We forget about God.
Yes.
So if we're going to be successful in the industry, if we're going to be successful leading our homes, our businesses, we have to remember to keep God first. And we would be nothing if it wasn't for his breath. And I don't get into a full-fledged word because
listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Even though we're talking about this, this is a faith-based summit. I always tell people, if you don't want to hear about God, you don't want to be in the building. You don't want to be on this live, because he's everywhere. He is the one who has actually gotten us to the point where we are at this very moment in time. So I don't ever quench his
Yeah,
spirit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't care where, in the airport,
I have.
I'll be walking down the street.
I'll be ready.
Right.
Um,
Bring it on.
but I want to say, if I don't say anything else tonight, I want to say if we would just remember our origin and remember the beginning, we were nothing but clay. We were nothing but dirt. And when God decided to make man in his image, man was still nothing until God breathed in him. And so we've got to remember, I don't care who we are, where we come from, we are nothing without his breath. And so we would keep that first and foremost. We would succeed. We would be better. We would have better lives if we would just remember the origin, remember God first. And we all, because we have some people have been in the industry 30 years, 40 years. Some just started, some just graduated, some just started entrepreneurship. But if we would all get on the same level and remember that we're nothing without him, we're nothing without his breath. And so before I get ahead of myself, I'm really excited in the moment, and what he's showing me is because in every industry we have the ups and the downs, we have the in and the outs, we have a lot of stuff going on. For lack of a better, we have a lot of issues going on, seniority, inferiority, all of these different things. But if all of us would just remember that we're nothing without his breath, we could further the industry. We could further our pursuit if we would just remember, like literally, we are all the same. We're all nothing but clay, who he decided to form in his image and breathe into our nostrils. And I just think that we would have just a better time together. We would have a better time pushing what needs to be pushed. We'd have a better time pursuing what needed to be pursued if we would just keep first things first.
I like it. I mean, I'm just constantly taking notes, the clay in the first breath. And I'm telling you, it's a resuscitation for me. It's a revival. And that's what you said when it come into this, this spirit that we have now in the industry. Mm-hmm. And where we need to now take back our business, because a lot of us are suffocating ourselves. A lot of us, the other day, you had hashtag I am expecting. Mm-hmm. And when you say that you are expecting, when you speak these things off your tongue, I'm expecting to be great. I don't tell anybody, don't say it's a slow month. I don't want to hear it, because what we got to realize, if you speak that, if you seek that into your spirit, that's what's going to happen. So we got to make sure that we breathe into new life, new fresh wind, and say, I can do this. And this is what I'm going to do. And there's nothing going to stop me. So this is where you have to, and all of us have to look at what God has really done to all of us, and that's breathing to our nostrils. Hassan, what about you? What do you feel about breathing?
When I hear word breathe, I think about don't forget the most important. When you're about to panic and the world is falling down falling down around you, a lot of times they tell you to step back, take a breath, breathe. Why? Because it helps when that fear raises its head. It helps regulate. It helps bring you back into focus. So a lot of things is about just understanding the most important. And we get so busy in the hustle and the bustle and the grind, and so we forget to sharpen our tools. We forget to step back. We forget to step back and just breathe. Right. Just take a minute and breathe, and it helps you regain focus.
Right. I like that. Shanad, the question is, what is your definition of breathe? And what do you feel that, when God said, breathe, Micheline, he woke me up early in the morning with this. And I'm like, God, you sure this one? You sure this? Not questioning, but say, I'm trying to understand. And he's constantly giving me confirmation on it. Just new beginnings. Like I tell people, I keep waking up at 4:14, 4:04 every morning. It's something about that 4 that is just constantly resonating in my spirit. What do you think about breathe, Shanad?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting word and somewhat intriguing to me, because in this season, breathe to me means sometimes you can push so hard, you can grind so hard, and sometimes you just need to stop and breathe, which means to me, and I'm actually in this space now where I had to take leave. I had to stop and pause for a minute so I can have perspective. And, I'm leaving tomorrow for 10 days, for respite and to be able to reflect and to go on a little bit of a pilgrimage on my own so I can have time to just really think about things. Because sometimes many of us who are type A personalities or go getters, we are run, run, run. And sometimes we run so hard, we don't have time to smell the roses. But even so far, for many of us at this stage of life, we've been running so hard, we'll see the roses. We may even smell the roses, but we don't even have the reality of what a rose is no more. So for me, it's about let me stop and completely disrupt and create a construct or create a space where I'm in a construct where, you know, I can't be daddy, I can't be a husband, I can't be CEO, I can't be bank executive, I can't be any of those things. I just got to be a stranger in a foreign land and be okay with that and allow myself to be a nobody and walk amongst people who don't know me and not worry about my identity. Because sometimes we get, you know, my pastor talk about this, sometimes identity can actually trump our calling. We get so caught up in our brand, our name, and the work that we forget that, hey, we serve a God. And when your work, your brand, and your identity become your God, then you create your own internal idolatry. And I was guilty of that. I was guilty of that, and I had to own that. So I decided to take a break and say, hey, you know, I need it. I need it for my own spiritual, mental, physical health. You know, I just realized, you know, it's too much sometimes. So yeah, breathing me, sometimes you just need to pause and stop and self-reflect and take care of yourself internally so you can continue to pour out externally to the people who really need you and you lead.
Speaking of pause, that's good. Speaking of pause, we're just gonna take a little bit of time because we gotta pay some bills, and the person who helped us pay some bills is none other than AT&T. So our proud. Hello, everyone. This is the visionary founder of Mpulse Summit in Columbia, South Carolina. I just want to take this time out to give a special thanks to one of our title sponsors, and that is AT&T. We want to thank them for not only believing in Mpulse Summit, but breathing with us even more. So we see you in September, the 10th through the 12th, for Breathe 2022.
New customers get our best deals on all smartphones.
That's right.
But what if I'm already a customer?
Oh, no problem. Hey, Cam.
Same deal.
Yeah, it's kind of our thing.
Oh, it's a great deal. What if I'm new to AT&T?
Cam, can...
Nice.
Hey, but what about for existing customers?
Same deal.
Is he okay?
It's not complicated. With AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on every smartphone.
So definitely, we are so blessed to have AT&T as one of our proud sponsors. And there's another young lady who's been in the backdrop that's ready to come on up to the stage, to the seat to really join us for Mpulse Summit. And this young lady, I've been knowing her for a number of years, watched her grow in the industry. She's continuously doing leaps and bounds. You know, she's gone from South Carolina to now she's all the way in Chicago, and she's been all over, but she's definitely going to be coming to us in Columbia, South Carolina. So y'all please welcome none other than Miss Sierra Chantel.
Good evening. Good evening. How is everyone doing today? How is my Mpulse family, my mentor? How you doing, Mitch?
Good.
How's everyone? And in Facebook land?
That's right. So we got to make sure we catch up with who you are. So I definitely know I have to go back and ask everyone what they're going to be doing. But this year, Sierra, you have been with us from a POC. You're still a POC. That's the power of connection. And you had a class last year. Your class was standing room only. And now you're coming back again this year to come into Mpulse Summit. So tell us a little bit about your class, and you're going to be joining us in Mpulse Summit and what you're going to be bringing to the table.
Okay, so what I'm doing this year, of course, like Mitch said, I've been since the beginning. I believe in the pulse. I believe in this heartbeat, and now we are breathing. It's time for us to breathe back into our industry, you know, taking what we know as far as our basics and taking them to the next level. So what I'm teaching is, of course, my signature meat press, which is your next level silk press. So what I want to do is make sure that everybody understands that anybody can do a silk press, but to understand the knowledge, to understand the chemistry, to understand the balance, to understand everything that goes into hair itself, into our body, period, because it's even down to that, the science of everything from a trichologist standpoint, to give your clients the best results while maintaining the integrity of their hair, maintaining the integrity of their curls, maintaining the integrity of their overall health, because you got to feel good on the inside in order for that hair to flow on the outside. So that's definitely what I'm bringing, so that everybody can see that mirror effect. What you see in the mirror is what you're going to get back.
All right. And your definition of breathe, since you're there, and we're gonna put you on the spot. What is your input on breathe? When you heard that this year's, theme was breathe. This year's God has given us breathe. What is it that you say, okay. What was your thing about that?
I would definitely say with breathing, without breath, you have no life.
Period.
That's the simplest way to say, when you wake up in the morning and you take that first breath, when your child is born and they take that first breath, when in a position where you feel like you choked up and you take that first breath, when you get something new or something exciting in your life, or you get to the next level or receive something, you take that first breath. Even when we're sitting in there holding our breath, waiting or anticipating for something good, something positive, or something amazing to happen, when we breathe, it's like, whew.
Yeah.
It's even like, I'll put it like this. Mpulse Summit is that corset that you've been wearing, ladies, holding it all in. And when you get to Mpulse Summit, it's like taking that corset off and you're able to breathe, because I feel like sometimes, not even just in this career, not just even in the hair industry, because Mpulse Summit is so much more than just the hair industry. We get to a point where we're not breathing. We're holding on. We're trying to figure out what's the next step. What's the end goal? How can I get to this next level? How can I service more clients? How can I see more people? How can I touch more people? So like I said, for me, breathing with Mpulse Summit is definitely, like I said, that corset, holding it all in. And when I get there, I'm able to release. I'm able to receive. I'm able to just breathe. I don't know, Mitch. I'm excited to breathe.
So I said, you better talk about that corset. Exactly. And so Shannon, the other day I seen it was your son's birthday. And, as she talking about bringing in, new life, where do you feel now, you are in the industry, you've been around the industry, you're a serial entrepreneur. What do you feel like this industry is at? What is the state of our industry that you feel right now?
I want to speak positively, because I do believe life and death is in the power of the tongue. I will say that everything isn't what it seems. So we have to have a changed perspective, because on one end, we could highlight a lot of the negativity that's going on within the industry, and then we forget about all of the positivity.
Right.
We have the power to change the climate, to change the temperature, if you will, within any industry. I believe that we're powerful enough as human beings to see something and respond the right way. And so I would just like to say, I see so many positive things that are going on within the industry. I've been in the industry. I remember working in a few salons back in my day, before I started pastoring, before I started preaching. And I just love to see how things are evolving. I'm loving to see all of the education. I'm really enjoying to just see people coming out of nowhere. Like, I've been in hiding and now I'm out. Somebody, this is who God called me to be. So I just want to highlight the positivity that's going on, the leadership, the mentorship. I see a lot of people coaching and mentoring and taking people under their wings. And so I believe that right now is a good time to be resuscitated, because there are a lot of people who've been in the industry for a while, who just kind of want to throw in the towel.
Yes.
So much going on, but I want to say it's happening in every industry. You can
Yes.
find anywhere. And so what we do about the negative we see, we have the power of life and death in our tongue. So I want to speak to what I'm seeing and speak to what we're going to see leading up to the summit and going into 2023, that some real power is coming forth. The real ones that are called, the ones that are in it for the long haul. I believe God is going to give many of you a second win. And so I just want to encourage somebody that's listening on tonight that says, I got to wait all the way to September. No, no, no. As you're getting ready and you're preparing, start breathing now. Start practicing now. Stop the hyperventilating. Stop all of that. Stop worrying about the recession and stop worrying about the industry going down, and start breathing now. And just push that positivity. And everybody that's watching, start pushing that positivity. You know, this may not be your summit. It may not be your conference, but we got to start looking at everything we do as ours.
It's ours.
Seeing things as ours. It's for our community. You know, it's for the industry. And I believe if we start taking that on, that one accord, this is ours. This is something we're, you know, doing for us. And we start getting together as a people, those breaths will be easier. Those breaths will be lighter. And we'll get the vitality that we need. When you think about breathing, you're bringing in oxygen, and that oxygen is being distributed to all of the organs. So as we are breathing, we're bringing that oxygen in that's necessary for life so that the whole body can live. And we start thinking, like, I'm not just breathing so that my hands can, you know, be oxygenated. I'm breathing for the whole body. And so we start thinking about the entire industry. When we breathe, we're bringing the whole industry back to life. And so getting out of the way and getting out of that selfishness. When I breathe, my whole body thanks me. My whole body is revived. My whole body has vitality. And so that's my push on tonight. That's my breath. That's me helping somebody else to understand. You're going to be resuscitated before you even get there. And we're going to do it together.
And you know, as I was listening to people say confirmation, I was thinking about Braxton Hicks, you know, that false birth, you know, but in between that time, you know, ladies on here, we have babies. You can feel that. And I know y'all were there when you know, your wives was there. But when you're doing that, you think you're in labor. Think you're in labor. You're like, okay, I'm gonna breathe. I'm breathing hard, you know, but that's false. But you got to start, like you said, breathing now so that you can be comfortable in that 9th month. In that month, you will be comfortable. In the month of September, you'll be so comfortable with it. You will understand that you're birthing in new ideas. You're birthing in new things that you thought you could never do. You will do it right then. Because you're taking in that new fresh wind and let it out. And I see Shania was shaking his head earlier when he was talking. Shania, what is it that you're thinking about? Because you was like, I gotta say something. I seen it. You know, I was writing down. I was watching you shake your head. What is it that the industry, and not just the industry, but what do you feel now that we have to bring in new breath that you can bring, that you and Hassan are going to bring, so that we know that when we go into this other half, into our Braxton Hicks, to our new month of 9 of new birth, what is that you're going to be bringing into that?
Yeah, so it's interesting, Mitch, because, you know, I think a lot of people felt broken, or they felt a breaking during COVID and a lot of the impact that it had. But I look at that time and I look at where we're at now, where folks are still feeling some of the potential impact of things unseen. And one of the things Hassan always talk about is understanding how you build wealth, how you understand how to leverage capitalization. And we got to move from this mentality of what I call the Dave Ramsey effect. And for those of you who Dave Ramsey have served well, don't get me wrong, but Dave Ramsey have not yet. Talisa Hassan, you check me on this, made anyone really wealthy. And here's the reason why, because
he might need you to pick on up, Hassan. Go ahead.
Well, I think I know where he was going. He was talking about, I know a lot of times we operate on what he called beans and weenies. I don't know about you, you know, beans and weenies are fine, but that's not what I'm searching for. And I know there may be a period in time where you might have to live on beans and weenies. I'm speaking for Shania. We got him back.
Well, I'm sorry, the devil was trying to be busy because here's what I got to say to folks is this. with this new season of breathing, we're gonna have a different mentality. We're gonna understand that debt, all debt is not bad debt. It's about how you leverage debt in the right space, understanding the power of business debt versus personal debt. So many of you have walked out on faith, and God has allowed you to do that by using your personal name, your personal debt. But in this season, we're gonna breathe a little bit differently. And we're going to teach you how to understand the power of not only leveraging business debt, having access to it, to understand how to be overcapitalized. Don't be afraid of money. Don't be afraid of money, because you got it. Where God has already guided you to, now you need to make sure you leverage the resources and gifts that's out there. So we're going to teach you how to go out there and go get it. I'm going to do that on the business side, and Hassan going to tell you how you build it, sustain it, and make it work when you're sleeping at night. So I'm excited about this, because it's important that we take what happened to us in COVID, say, okay, you got me one time, you won't get me again. And that's what I'm looking to hope to breathe into this space, to how folks don't have to have the fear of when the economy go up and down, because they know that they are over capitalized, they have leverage, and they have resources that they can use to sustain through whatever should come.
And so it's different when you all say that, because Mpulse Summit, we went through so many leaps and bounds to make sure that there's no excuses for you not to be there, including, adding in afterpay, split pay, leave pay. We've added some everything. So y'all sit back and look at what we also offered here as well.
Life doesn't wait. Why should you?
It could be seen as the modern-day lay-by in an age of convenience. A small Australian company, Afterpay, offers a buy now, pay later scheme, and it's rapidly gaining ground.
Afterpay is a service for customers to allow them to buy life's little luxuries and necessities and spread their payments over time in 4 installments. Afterpay takes on all of the risk that the customer may not pay us back in the future, etc. So from a retailer's perspective, it's risk-free.
Afterpay also approves customers instantly.
We don't do external credit checks in the traditional sense, but we have a very sophisticated set of systems and rules which looks at the integrity of that particular transaction. It's not a credit product because we don't charge any interest to the customer, and we don't lock them into any upfront fees or administration charges.
So far, retailers are enthusiastic about the service, which has proved great for customers who are good at budgeting and understand the risks.
I'm gonna tell you, that's deep right there, right? It was like, you know what? When somebody said they want to be there, you can be there. Like Shanada, Hassan, and Shannon, and Sierra has said, you can be there based off the fact that now we have Afterpay, where you can come in, get your education, learn that, pay it back, make more money in order to sustain everything that you want in life. So it's just so important. Now I'm gonna ask you all this question. I'm gonna start with Sierra, because there was some of your favorite moments, or just give me one of your favorite moments of Mpulse Summit. One of your favorite moments at Mpulse Summit. You're on mute. You're on mute. Come off mute, boo. You still on mute, babe. You're on mute. You're on mute, boo.
Sorry, my very first summit.
Whatever it was, it was good. Whatever.
Yeah, the very first summit with the band. You said my favorite moments, right?
Yeah, some of the favorite moments that you love.
The last year, the battle with the couture hair and things like that at the Cream and Green, the pool park. Okay, everything is my favorite info summit. It's just too much. It's too much to pinpoint to one or two.
That's fine. What about you? Because you've been there, making sure that the exhibitors are set up. You've been at the Cream and Green. You've been some everywhere. What's some of your highlights of Mpulse Summit?
Yeah, a lot of times I'm in the background, but I think I get to see something. And one thing that really impressed me was the anointing of the chairs, the anointing of the full facility. It's the prayer. It's understanding what's most important, putting God first. And for me, that was the best.
Shania, what about you?
I work in an environment where it can feel somewhat isolated. Even though we say we have teams, to watch the loyalty of the group of people caring for each other to be able to bless others in this summit, it's amazing. And I just love being in the presence of this, feeling that energy and that anointing that flows. And when you have the preachers and pastors up there, I have to check myself. Like, hold on, man, you got to we stay cool, you're that cool guy. But boy, it's hard. It's almost impossible to stay cool around that spot. It's like, look, you're going to cry, you're going to shout, you're going to do something that's probably a little bit out of character for you, but it sure feel good when you leave and you need it. So I just love the energy, and people just ride or die folks on that team, man. And y'all work all night, and I come just to get some of it. I'm gonna be honest, I steal it, try to take it back and use it. So that's kind of what I love about it, Mitch.
Yeah, Shania said last year, he told me, Mitch, I don't know how y'all do this. Y'all ain't slept. Like, I don't know how y'all doing this. What about you, Shannon, Pastor Shannon?
I'll say, like my friend said here, the energy of the people. What I really love is I get to be me. I don't have to be a part of the industry to feel alive in the presence of the people. The way the people received me when I was there, although the moment was short, we maxed that moment. And as the Lord was speaking, just to seeing the response, like people wanted that spirituality as well. It was bigger than we're just at a summit. And when I looked out in the crowd and I saw the people crying out, I saw the people leaving, I saw the people running and actually receiving God, I was messed up from that moment. And I just couldn't believe how wow. It was just like a wow factor just to seeing people just respond. We're lit. Yeah, we're doing this, we're shopping, we're learning, but we need God as a part of this summit. And just to see and to feel that energy, and it was everything. And that was just my first time being there.
I'm so blessed to have you. Immediately when I called you, I told French, I said, listen, I got to have Pastor Shannon there, because leading up into that time, how you said up until that time, you have always tagged me on something of you've done a, prayer or a post about making room. And it's just confirmation was just coming from everywhere. And then you did one on stretch. And I'm like, okay, all right, she got to be there. And, Hassan, this is so true. A lot of people don't even know this and don't even realize, because it is before people get there. Yes, we do pray over those chairs. We pray over those doors. We pray over it. Hassan has been there when my mom has sung. Shania has been there when they have sung. We do that before people come to the building. And a lot of people don't know this is what we do. We cover it. Way before anybody even sit in that seat is already covered. Before you hit that door hinges, it's already covered. Before you even try to come in there with anything, it's already shut down. As you say, period. Because that's what we believe in. So that is one of the best things. We pray up until we have a prayer group that we pray way up until anyone get there, for every attendee, every person that's going to be behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, everyone that even believes in Mpulse Summit. And if you don't believe, we make you believers before you leave there. And that is so important to all of us, because it's a whole atmosphere. And it'll shift anything that anybody come in there saying what they doubted themselves on and what they couldn't do, like you said, you can. It changes it. And it changes everything that you thought that you was missing is there. And it's going to find you there long as you get there. Like, I keep saying, going back to Mocha and Jada, different people, Brandy, Sharkeisha, different people who are Morcia, that is part of our entire, influencers. These people believing, so they're breathing way before we get there. And that's why we are constantly just saying, no matter what, God is going to bring the right people there. He's going to bring the right people there. And I always tell people that don't look for a whole bunch of people, look for the right people, because a whole bunch of people are going to come when they see the change and the shift that we're bringing in this entire industry. So I definitely want to, talk about a couple of things. And this, one of them is, before we have to go, is the cream and green. How did y'all love that? That's one thing, right? Then we have our power breakfast. So there's so many elements, the power breakfast that we bring into the table. That is another thing. Of course, we have our church service. We have over 60 classes that we offered, and you all will be there educating in our classes. And we also have definitely our official kickoff, and that is our all white ice party. So make sure you bring your all white, your cream and green. You definitely can know that you have early bird, but listen to this, because we have the money men on here, right? It takes them less than $5 a day to come in. Let's say this again. $5 a day. I'm gonna ask you this, Shannon. I'm gonna ask one of y'all, what did y'all give up for $5? Because I know what I gave up. What did y'all give up? Shania, what did you give up to say, you know what? I need to give this up because.
I'm gonna pass that on. All right, then I'm gonna come in the back.
Okay. Hassan, what will you give up to come to Mpulse Summit? What somebody need to give up?
I mean, if you think about $5 a day, I'm not that trying to disparage you from Starbucks, but that's one Starbucks drink.
Oh man!
And you give up a latte.
You give up a latte. You give up a latte.
Or the donut that went with the latte, right? Or the Danish, or whatever it may be. Like me, I got to get a couple things with my latte.
Shannon was like, look like she.
Did I hurt you with the Starbucks? I'm sorry.
Starbucks and the donut, like.
All right, you can't leave the donut out.
A lot of us can't operate without that caffeine.
Don't leave the donut out. Don't leave the donut out.
Hey, I gotta get that 12-pack of Krispy Kreme, and I say I get it for my kids. No, I'm getting it all for me.
So you see that? Y'all see this? Sierra, what about you now? They talking about donuts and coffee. What else? I even started making coffee at home, but I even stopped doing that. So I'm not even doing that because I'm not getting myself accustomed to coffee right now.
See, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't have to give up Starbucks because I've been doing the right thing. So I guess everything that I've been making. No, I can't get it up. That's part of losing this weight. So. No, I could give it up. I give it up. I usually do 2 shakes a day. My protein shake, I do one.
Okay.
I'm with you, Shannon. Yes, Starbucks is good, but I'm not a coffee drinker, so
we're talking about all these things. So I definitely want to think about the power connection. I just want to let you all know that right now we have a new Facebook page, so don't be scared. It's called Mpulse Summit. Make sure you follow us on that Mpulse Summit page. So the first 3 people to follow us, and I want to make sure I get these directions. You got to follow, bring somebody over to our new page, tag and share it. Then we are giving away a swag collection, an Mpulse Summit swag collection. Everybody know I like to be cute, so it's going to be real cute, And we also going to be giving away some special. You get the very first special gift that we're going to be giving out at Mpulse Summit. Everyone knows how we're doing it, how big we go. We go big and we go hard every year. So this year is no different. So our swag bag has full special, but we got AT&T. We had to bring the heat with that. So again, I want to give a shout out to our Power of Connections. That is definitely a group of individuals that go out and connect our industry together. So we're so grateful for them. And I also want to give a shout out for our influencers. And these individuals here have been doing it up big time. And some of them are actually going to be performing at the all white event. You're going to see us in South Carolina next weekend. And the weekend after that, I'm going to be in South Carolina. So y'all going to see us all around. Y'all going to see these Breathe shirts everywhere. And somebody inboxed me saying, Mitch, how can I get a rhinestone one? You better go on over to the Facebook page, Mpulse Summit page, if you want to try to get a swag and bling out shirt, okay? Which is some of the things that we're going to be giving away. And I like this, not a lifestyle, it's a life. I like that, Frenchie. I like that a lot. So definitely go in and do that. But let's look at some of our influencers and what is an influencer and how can you be a part of it? So we definitely have Jada, Marcia, Sharkeisha, and Brandy as our influencers. and a couple of more people that's out there that's been influenced, and they didn't even know they're influencers because they are going through and spreading the word about Mpulse Summit. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am blessed, beyond blessed about you all being a part of Mpulse Summit, about you being in the building in post-timber and making sure you have your all white, cream and green. I know how you do it, Shannon. You bring it big out. Y'all better get y'all stuff together, because how she doing it right now ain't that nice. I'm gonna tell you right now. So you all better go ahead and be sure to get your ticket. Again, there's no excuses. We have Afterpay, we have Split Pay, we have Lead Pay, whatever you want to pay. We got you in the building. We have 60 days before that. 60 days. And I'm just going to let you know, in 60 days, so many things can happen. In 30 days, so many things. Matter of fact, in 30 minutes, if you speak to God and write down things and ideas, and y'all know I'm always keeping a notebook full of so many things that I have. And one of my notebooks is my prayer of who is going to be at Mpulse Summit this year. I keep this here because I'm constantly praying for each and every person here. Any last words before we leave you all this evening? We're not. It has been a true. Go ahead, Shannon, go ahead.
Just want to say to you, don't forget to breathe.
Don't
forget to breathe. Carrying a large vision often can be suffocating. It can be mind-boggling. It can be tiresome. But make sure that you have scheduled some time. You have a team. You trust your team. Pray to God, that your team of vision runners will help you run with the vision. But in these next 60 days, be very careful, mindful. One of the things you said, God has been waking you up at 4 a.m. And that's a certain watch of the night. Mm-hmm. That's the watch of the night where you get to command your day. And it's also that period of time where you get to tear down the strongholds of the enemy. And so don't worry about why you're waking up at 4. But when you do wake up at 4, make sure you put a command in the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And that command your team, command the environment, command the summit. But as you are progressing to the summit, make sure you get some rest and you breathe, because it's bigger than you. It's definitely bigger than you. So.
And you said that to me. You definitely said that to me. And that just sitting a chill up my spine right now, because just today I actually took the day off. And I went and worked out, and I took some time, and Toya sent me a mat that I have, over there that, I just get on and I'm starting to meditate and really focus on it's bigger than me. And I always tell people, it's not about that. It's not about, oh my God, this is going to be $4.99. It's worth it. And it's not the money, because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than that, because God is already going to pay it in full. He's just saying, bring the people there so that we can change lives. And that's all we want to do. So again, go over to, I'm not going to cry. Go over to our Facebook page, Mpulse Summit, Keeping the Post. Make sure you go over there and say, Keeping the Post on Mpulse Summit. Again, we're giving some swag gear. And I love you all. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I want you all to join us right here again next Thursday. Again, we're going to do some real comfortable conversations with people who've been on here before, people who have had a constant impact throughout this whole entire vision that we're doing. 60 days. 60 days before Mpulse Summit, and God is going to blow your mind like you never knew before. I'm telling you right now, it's already in there. Thank you all. See you next Thursday. I love you all.